Good afternoon, fans. This is your girl from Mel'S Mat Chat, and this is the second go around of episode 352. How is everybody doing today? I want to explain what happened last week. All of a sudden, I had nothing. I'm sitting here in my kitchen and everything like that, and I'm doing the show. I had no internet, I had no power, no nothing for like a good 6 hours. I wasn't going to try to go live again because of the storm that we had. We had the remnants of Debbie that was from Florida. So I just said, screw it. I'm not going to anger myself. So I just foregoed it. I had to squash a week, which I was not thrilled about, but it is what it is. But lots happened. Something I'm going through very personal right now, and I right now it's going to cause my life to completely be different. I may not be living here anymore because of the price of freaking shit that's going on right now. I can't afford this apartment by myself. I have no other person helping me with the bills. It's only me. So for me to not be able to not be homeless, I'm going to have to be most likely living with my boyfriend. Okay, that's number one. Number two, last weekend, I had lost really good friend of mine. And he passed away, which I'm not going to say his name. I don't want him to appear in any ghost form. But he died of pancreatic cancer. So that's going to be another cause that I'm going to, advocate for. So, but yeah, there is there has been a lot of things have gone on in my personal life. Now in this, we had the return of the OTC, Mr. Roman Reigns himself, last week. He's back this week, and it's a sold out crowd in Orlando. I don't know if TK knows what that is now anymore. Sold out crowd. I think he forgot. I mean, AEW is nothing like it was year one. And for them to announce yesterday or the day before yesterday that they're going to the Texas Ranger baseball stadium. I know for a fact TK was probably looking at when he was at the press conference, and every time he looked and he saw the AT&T stadium where it's 100,000 people that he has to put in, he's a little sore. He's a little like, shit, I can't run that stadium because I'll look like an idiot. He's going to look like an idiot with this stadium. He's going to look like an idiot. Why is it necessary to right now? He could have just did a really big arena show. There's places that are 20, 25,000 people. He would have been better off doing that. But it is what it is. Let's see in a year to see how much they can sell these tickets, because they did this last year with All In to go back to London. They're not sold out yet, and it's almost a year. If you're not selling out in a year, then you have problems. And he's probably expecting $1 billion for 5 years for AEW content. If I was Warner Brothers and I know what I know and I go and I see and whatnot, let me tell you something, that they're at they're set $44 billion in debt. And nobody's fucking questioning that. Whoever is in charge of fucking the finances, don't they have the wherewithal to fucking say, you know what? We're not going to spend any more money. We're going to try to make our money back. And where we're going to try to make our money back is where our bread is buttered, which is NBA. Sorry, TK. You took a gamble on this. And their opportunity just to be exclusive to Warner Brothers Discovery is over. So what is TK going to do if he's not going to get what he thinks he's going to get? And then I come to find out that Young Bucks are on a fucking part-time basis contract. What are they? They're younger than me. They're younger than me. It's because they did stupid fucking moves in the indies to get to where they are now. And then when they did have surgery, they never took time to recuperate. They wrestled literally right out of surgeries or during injuries. Whatever fucking promoter thinks that's okay is wrong. I was a promoter and I'm bringing somebody in on an independent date. I need to have them do a fucking goddamn physical. And if you don't do the physical, then you're not worthy of being in my company, because I am not being responsible for your injuries. And if you do get hurt on my dime and take care of it. And make sure everybody else knows that guy's hurt and whatnot. It's ludicrous and it's negligent. We have a bit of an update on what's going on with the Lucha Brothers. Lucha Brothers are supposedly they're staying in AEW. See, what I would have done is I wouldn't have said two shits to it. I would have said diddly squat. Because let me tell you something. If they do end up going to WWE, I don't want to fucking hear all the AEW tribalists saying now they're the most worthless tag team. Do you understand? WWE is a very more lighter on your body. You don't have to punish yourself. You've made it. If you're in WWE, you've made it. You don't have to keep trying that hard. You do it when it needs to be. Yes, my skin's nice and glowy and dewy. So, for the people that think that the Lucha Brothers are destined to be catering, maybe they want to start winding down their careers. They are about my age. They are, wanting to still be in the business but not kill themselves. Don't they have the right to be like that? Because let me tell you something. They've earned to lighten their ring time. They've sorely earned lighten their ring time. Now WWE may have more of a schedule, but see, the thing is that they're not going to be in the ring all the time. They're not going to have to be put in the ring. They're going to probably be used as ambassadors in Mexico. The WWE wants two places to go into to make boatloads of money. They want to go to Japan and they want to go in Mexico. How about having the fucking Lucha Brothers being your focal point? Rey Mysterio's not doing it. Let's have fucking goddamn the Lucha Brothers do it. And you all know that there's going to be, when they do debut, they're going to have their match, and Rey Mysterio is going to use this as an excuse to do his retirement match, and it's going to be epic, people. He's going to take on Rey Fenix, but the person who's going to retire his rear end is going to be Penta El Zero Miedo. He's going to be the one to retire him. Nobody else. And I'm here for it. It's going to be a banger of a match. Speaking bangers, Sheamus, let's get into some breaking news here today. Today, WWE released all collegiate WWE title belts. So if you are a fan of the Suitors, you're a fan of the Hurricane, I don't know if I'm doing it right or whatever. You're a Miami Hurricane or whatever the case may be, and you want to really represent your alma mater, go check it out on www.shop.com. And right now they're in my backyard. They're at the Jacob Javits Center. So if you want to, try to see your favorite superstar, see if you can get tickets. And it's going to be, this is like a Comic-Con or a Sports-a-con taken to the next level. So if you want to see the who's who in the world of professional sports, go check it out. It's a really good time. And you get to meet your favorite superstars. It's a win-win situation. And today, right now, David Ortiz from the Boston Red Sox is there. Derek Jeter, MLB Hall of Famer. WWE gave them replica titles from their MLB line of championship titles. And I think that's awesome. Gronk, how can I forget about this? Gronk had it. Gronk has, and they were saying, oh, I think he's got a second career. He was in WWE. He was a WWE superstar. So could he make a comeback? I would like to see it. I'm not a Patriots fan, but I can't deny that Gronk has it. And he's, he should always, have a place there. And he could freaking take care of himself. I mean, if Pat McAfee could do it, Logan Paul could do it, Bad Bunny could do it, Gronk can handle his own. We have a space in next year's Wembley schedule because AEW will not be there. I suspect that they're going to do a possible SummerSlam or a regular PLE there. That's going to give them the dress rehearsal for a potential WrestleMania week or month at this point. At this point, they could go a month. They can have all bells and whistles and all festivities there for a whole month. I was at WrestleMania 10. All right. I was too young to go to WrestleMania 1, but I was there at WrestleMania 10. And I seen the weekend and everything like that. It was a weekend. Started on a Friday, ended it on a Sunday. Now it's a fucking week. When the fuck did this happen? So, but it's crazy how everything has evolved. I just got to read this notification. This is crazy. WCW's engaging. Oh my God. So yeah, Tony Khan still believes that WWE is contract tampering. Well, I'm sorry, TK. Stop being so fucking paranoid. Work on what you got, and then you won't have to worry about the supposable contract tampering. Do you have proof? Before you say shit, you better have proof. Because now WWE can come and sue your ass for fucking defamation. Watch what you say. Jesus Christ. Whoever is giving him his Frosty the Snowman stash, really he's gotta like take out the psychedelics. Seriously, cut the psychedelics. It's not doing well for the man. Anyway, we are on the road to All In. If everything goes right in my and I'm still here and I'm not in transit moving or anything like that, I will be covering it. Oh my god. Whatever is happening to my hair, I am loving it. Everything is starting to grow back. Yes. My hairline is just got weird for some reason. So we're on the road to All In. I will be covering it as of right now. If things just, don't, clear up, then I'm going to have to put this on the back burner. But I will let you guys know every step of the way. But until then, let's get this party started. I'm going to be here for a while because I have to cover 5 shows. Now, speaking of, I actually cover 6, but the 6th one, you got to pay to see. And where you can see that is on my OnlyFans. It's $5 a month. I do NXT review. It's called NXXXT. And I do a topless on my OnlyFans, which is Real Mel's Mat Chat. If you want to know what's going on, go over there and you pay the $5. It's $1.25 a week, and you get to see these absolutely uncovered and uncensored. Speaking of that my handle is Real Mel's Mat Chat. You could also use that same handle for my Snapchat. Go follow me over there. Please also go follow me on my other social media, which is TikTok, Cameo, X, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. All Mel's Mat Chat. All right, it's 2 different handles. Note, if you have a TikTok, do not mention that you have an OnlyFans. You'll get you banned. Just a little FYI. Because I got banned twice for mentioning it. I'm not doing that again. So, we are as I said, we're on the road to All In. Then 2 weeks later, we got All Out. I don't know how the hell he's booking the both shows, but they better start booking the other one because he seems like he's forgetting it. We're also on the road. If you are a big professional wrestling fan that likes independent wrestling, let's just say that I got the promotion for you. It's House of Glory. They are going to be this weekend, in fact, tomorrow in Las Vegas. It's going to be East Coast versus West Coast. Future stars of wrestling versus HOG wrestlers. Amazing Red versus Chris Bay. Title for title. Limelight versus Mike Santana. Main event versus Unguided. Maserati versus Diamond Vergado. September 5th. They're going to be in Chi-Town, the Windy City. They're going to be at the Logan Square Auditorium. Mustafa Ali will be there. Dijak versus Mike Santana for I believe, the HOG World Heavyweight Championship. Joe Alonzo. Kylie Ray versus Megan Bain for the HOG Women's Championship. And Zilla Vatu is going to be in your town. And are you going to acknowledge HOG's possible tribal chief? Go check it out. At September 29th, you say his name and he will appear. Joe Hendry is making his House of Glory debut on September 29th. So if If you can be there, go get your tickets at hogwrestling.net. But if you can't, go subscribe to the Thriller app and download it. And it comes with your Thriller Plus subscription. Also, please do me a favor. Please like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications so when I go live, upload a video, or do a short, you will know about it. Also, please do me a favor. Go check out Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com. Visit their website for all of your beard essentials. If you are in dire need to murder your thirst, do yourself a favor and go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. I am starting to be very weird about the company. I mean, I love their seltzer water and everything like that. But they have a new beverage, and it's vanilla fudge. It's like a vanilla fudge soda. I don't want that. This is supposed to be an alternative for me to not drink soda. So no, I hope this is like a Halloween gotcha situation. It looks terrible. Hot fudge, I would rather have lemonade. Get the lemonade. Fuck the hot fudge. But you can get all the rest of the line, which is iced teas, flavored seltzer waters, regular water, and unflavored seltzer water. So get it all there. And you have sports packs. So if you want to turn any beverage into a sports drink, you can. Also, please go check out Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. Soon, you're going to be able to get copious amounts of pumpkin chai coffee, and it's coming. The countdown is here, and you can go get it there. And with all the other flavors and varieties of Death Wish coffee. Also, please do me a favor and go check them out on deathwishcoffee.com. Now we're going to go and start. We're going to do all AEW shows. I'm picking it up from Rampage last week. I know I should do the entire situation, but I don't have 6-7 hours to be sitting here. So we have Mommy basically fucking getting ready to go do battle with her Terror twin, Damian Priest. We have them going against the children, the unexperienced children of WWE, which is supposedly Daddy Dom and Liv Morgan. Trust me, she's going to get her comeuppance. When she no longer has the title and she's not wielding any power and Rhea Ripley has the title, who's Dominic going to want to crawl his ass back to? So we have two friends going to be battling it out in Bash in Berlin in the end of this month. That's another thing that I'm going to hopefully, quote unquote, cover. Fingers crossed. Also, I will be also, we have Gunther taking on a Legend Killer. So there's a lot going on in WWE. But I'm picking it up from Rampage last week because of reasons I just told you at the beginning of the show. We had a storm here, which knocked out everything, and I wasn't going to take the chance of trying it all over again. I would have been so aggravated. So, Rampage from this past Friday. Kicking off the show tonight, Darby Allin versus Butcher, and they were coming from the LJVM Coliseum in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Darby charged at Butcher, and Butcher booted Darby directly in the face. Big Butch showed his aggression right out of the gate, body slamming Darby in the ropes. Darby spat at Butcher, not backing down. Butcher whipped Darby into the turnbuckles. Darby went bleeding from the mouth 20 seconds into the match. Butcher shoved Darby into the steel ring steps. Butcher stood on Darby's head with a boot, trying to squash him. Butcher threw his body at the barricade. and at Darby, but Darby dodged him. Darby nailed Butcher with a coffin drop to the floor. Darby jumped off the top rope, but Darby leaned his shoulders into Darby, knocking Darby down. Butcher blasted Darby with a shotgun dropkick. Butcher locked Darby in the Texas cloverleaf to homage the Iceman D. Malenko. Butcher stomped on Darby. Butcher slapped Darby in the face. Darby knocking Darby out of the ring. Butcher swung Darby into the steel barricade and then power bombed Darby into the post. Remember, in 16 days, Darby will be challenging for the TNT title, and if he makes it to All in London, said Excalibur. Darby got to his feet and flew out of the ring with a tope suicida on Butch. Darby hit Butcher with a coffin splash in the corner. And then a second coffin splash. I guess they're renaming it from the Stinger Splash to the Coffin Splash. I wish they would have said something about that, but that's just me. I like to have a little bit of what the hell is going on. Give me the details. And then drilled Darby with a half and half Nelson backbreaker and powerbomb for a near fall. Butcher tried to set up Darby for a suplex. Darby countered with an avalanche. Code Red. Darby decimated Butcher with a coffin drop from the top rope and pinned Butcher. Never doubt Darby Allin, said Tony Schiavone. Wheeler Yuta versus Rocky Romero. American Dragon Bryan Danielson joins the commentary team. Rocky and Wheeler traded chops. Wheeler wiped out Rocky with a shoulder tackle. Rocky transitioned into an armbar, but Wheeler escaped. Yuta drilled Rocky with a suplex, dumping Rocky on his head. Rocky Romero lit up Wheeler's chest with chops. Yuta sent Rocky to the floor and rocketed out of the ring with an elbow suicida to Rocky. We've got a match here, boys, said Daddy Magic. Romero was taken off his feet by a lariat. From Yuta. Rocky got to his feet and both men traded strikes. Yuta connected with a Manhattan drop. Rocky stunned Yuta with a Hurricane Rana off the ropes, followed by a sliced bread number 2 for a near fall. Yuta countered with a sliced bread attempt by Rocky with a cross-legged tombstone pile driver on Rocky. Yuta pounded Rocky with a hammer and elbows and then forced Rocky to tap out after applying the cattle mutilation. AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland certainly has a lot of work to think about this Wednesday when Swerve will go one-on-one with our winner tonight, Wheeler Yuta, said Excalibur. And Wheeler Yuta is going to be ready. Look at him, replied Danielson. There is going to be a lot of variables with that match. Do they give him the title only to put it back on Swerve? That kind of negates Swerve's whole title reign. Private Party versus Dave and Zane Dawson. My, has this tag team fallen? Seriously. Private Party used tandem offense on Zane Dawson. Quen tried to body slam Dave, but Dave splashed him with all his weight. Quen dropped Zane with a jawbreaker. Quen body slammed Zane. Zane got the tag and clobbered Dave Dawson with elbow strikes to the jaw. Zane followed up with a Hurricane Rana. Private Party hit Zane with a silly string. Private Party looking good, said Daddy Magic. I want to also announce that Ruby Soho and Daddy Magic's tag team partner, which I cannot freaking remember his name, are expecting a baby girl. Private Party finished off Dawson with gin and juice and picked up the win. Will this be what Private Party needs to get back on track here in AEW Excalibur? Main event time. The Outcasts, Saraya versus the Native Beast, Nyla Rose. In some states, she can't compete. And I'm going to let you in on why. Because I'm going to tell you, she's a man. She is a biological male. In some states, they are outlawing that. And I'm happy for it. Sorry. Go fight another man. I am not having. If I had a daughter and she went into professional wrestling and I found out her opponent was another biological male, I would be having kittens. Sorry, I don't believe in that. She's a great performer, but no. So Nyla took a swipe at Harley, and took a spill from the ring at the start of the match. Saraya distracted the ref while Harley stomped on Nyla outside the ring. So it takes two women to beat up a guy. And I'm not trying to hate or anything, but come on. Let's call a spade here. Back in the ring, Nyla splashed Saraya in the corner. Nyla's body slammed Saraya and drove her into the mat. Nyla tried to slide outside the ring, but Saraya lifted the ring apron, trapping Nyla. Saraya clubbed Nyla, who was caught in the apron. Nyla nailed Saraya with the side suplex and then a senton, building up momentum. Saraya countered a splash by raising her knees. Saraya followed up with a running knee strike. Saraya spiked Nyla with a nightcap for a near fall. And there was audio of like, do the rampage. And it's not called that anymore. Oh my God. Her fucking teammate that doesn't even know her fucking name of her finishing maneuver or the new name. Get with it, people. Nyla blasted Saraya with a powerful thrust kick, showing a sense of urgency. Nyla chokeslammed Saraya and went for a pin, but Harley diverted the referee's attention away from pinning the predicament. Nyla had enough and pursued Harley outside the ring. This is a mistake right here, said Daddy Magic. Nyla needs to stay in the ring, added Tony Schiavone. Saraya went after Nyla, but Nyla heard Saraya's footsteps, anticipating her, and slugged Saraya and then Harley. Saraya connected with a thrust kick. Nyla went to suplex Saraya back into the ring, but Harley swept out Nyla's legs and held them. The referee didn't see it. Saraya landed a chop. Nyla landed on top of Nyla thanks to the assist of Harley and stole the pin. Grand larceny here in our main event. Saraya with a crucial win as All In London approaches, just 16 days away on pay-per-view, said Excalibur. Collision was coming from the Eastport Stadium, in Arlington, Texas. So we have that. Really? The woman that fucking tried to get her ass back to wrestling barely is on wrestling. Barely. She's not even fucking in a match or involved in a match in her home country. Would you look at that? Oh, because she had her moment last year. Give me a break. Darby Allin. We started off Collision. Now we're on to Collision. I know, so it's scintillating. And this is when we have All in like 2 weeks. This is what we're dealing with. Stories, the matches that are supposed to be on All In should be involved in all 3 shows. And I'm going to just let everybody know, Ring of Honor, who cares about Ring of Honor? You got Athena wasting away in Ring of Honor. Why isn't she vying for TBS title? Oh, that's right. That's the Boss's title. Why isn't Athena, oh, I don't know, going against Toni Storm? Remember, Toni Storm is going to be facing Mariah May, and right now, the only thing that's being pushed in the forefront is the Mercedes and Dr. Britt Baker, which isn't lighting the world on fire. And that whole thing, what was going on with Britt, MJF, and his girlfriend, I think it was blown out of proportion. And you guys fell for it. Nice job. What are they trying to do and make Britt Baker a badass? Please, for the love of God, no. So Darby Allin and Hologram versus Tony Nese and Josh Woods. All right. Josh Woods shoved Hologram into the corner. Nese tagged in, but Hologram hit a arm drag on Nese. Darby grabbed a tag, and he and Hologram overwhelmed Nese with a flurry of offense. Great synergy for a new tag team, said Nigel. Sterling grabbed Darby's ankle from the outside of the ring. Woods took advantage of the distraction. Sterling created a German suplex on Darby. Woods dumped Darby with a backbreaker lariat combination. Nese smelled blood in the water and tagged in his partner. Nese cradled Darby for a near fall. Darby fought his way out of the opposition corner and made the tag to Hologram. Hologram spiked Woods with a DDT and followed up with a rising knee strike. Sterling interfered again, grabbing the Hologram's ankle from the ring from the apron. But Darby came to Hologram's aid with a coffee drop to the outside. Hologram took down Woods with a crucifix pin and scored the 1-2-3. Hologram is 4-0 and his undefeated streak continues, said Tony Schiavone. In a tag team match. This is not a singles match. So then you're going to make something out of this? Christ, give me a break. I'm sick and tired of the fucking cord on my tablet. Oh, Miss Rosa, you really need to get your ass out of AEW. You and Britt Baker. Hey, bitter enemies become friends. You want to carve your own? I'd go on a tag team run with her. Thunder Rosa versus the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. In a Texas bull rope match. Thunder Rosa connected with 2 lariats and a sit-out senton. She grounded and pounded Deonna. The Virtuosa left the ring, but Thunder Rosa yanked the rope and pulled Deonna hard into the ring apron. Thunder Rosa whipped Deonna into the ring steps. Thunder Rosa cracked Deonna with a backstabber in the ring. Deonna gained control of the cowbell, knocking Thunder Rosa in the head with it during First Blood. Back in the ring, Thunder Rosa pulled Deonna off the top rope onto a pile of steel chairs that Deonna had brought into the ring. Thunder Rosa drop kicked Deonna in the face. sandwiching her between the turnbuckles and the steel chair. Deanna managed to put Thunder Rosa in the tree of woe in the turnbuckles. Deanna speared Thunder Rosa, who had been tangled upside down in the corner. Deanna powerbombed Thunder Rosa and followed her up with a Gotch-style power driver, but Thunder Rosa kicked out of the counter too. Deanna put Thunder Rosa on the table in the ring and whipped her with a bull rope. Deanna climbed up the turnbuckle, but Thunder Rosa met her up there and smashed Deanna through the table with an avalanche bulldog. Thunder Rosa planted Deanna with the shoulders breaker and scored the pinfall victory. Oh my God, Thunder Rosa actually won that match. Shocking. Holy shit. She actually got a fucking win. Dear God. It's about fucking time, people. FTR versus the Outrunners. They want to be handed the titles basically at All In. Meanwhile, the Acclaim should be the ones to get the titles, not them. They need to fucking allow the people that who really wanting them to have them get that. FTR needs to go back to WWE. Trust me, they need to go back to WWE. They're starting to piss me off too. Truth knocked down Cash with a shoulder tackle and then posed. Cash fired back with shoulder tackles of his own and then flexed. The Outrunners smashed Cash with a double elbow drop. Cash tagged out to Dax, and Cash ruled the ring, knocking both Outrunners over the top rope with clotheslines. Dax chopped down Truth with a leg lariat. Dax dumped Turbo on his head with 5 consecutive German suplexes, followed by a pile driver. FTR pumped the brakes on Turbo with a shatter machine and picked up the pin. And I love the fact that DIY is now using shatter machine as a setup to their meet them in the middle. And that is a tag team match that I would like to see again. DIY versus FTR. Here comes the gimmick card again. Take my money. Take it, or take it all. Take it all. Don't even have a lot, but take it. Lexi Nair was backstage with Kip Sabian. This is more about me. This is about my dad. AEW Trios champion Nick Wayne interrupted Kip Sabian. Nick, hey Kip, why are you still in my business? Are you obsessed with me? I don't blame you. I'm the youngest crown champion in history of this company. But after 5 years, you're still a nobody. I'm tired of all these games. I'm going to put an end to it. This week on Rampage, then when I step into the ring with one-on-one, I guarantee your dad died a loser. I'm going to make sure you go out the same way. I'm not liking this whole situation with the dad situation. You know, it just doesn't. I mean, for a person that's lost a parent, it's not kosher to me. Roosh versus Preston Vance. Preston got into Roosh's face and said, "This is your family." Don Callis was watching from backstage. Preston planted Roosh with a spinebuster. Roosh grabbed Preston and whipped him into the guardrails outside the ring. Roosh battered Preston with chops and chomped on Preston's forehead. Back in the ring, Preston rocked Roosh with a discus lariat. Preston charged at Roosh, but Roosh countered with a suplex, launching Preston into the turnbuckles. Roosh smoked Preston with bull's horns and pinned him. Don Callis smiled backstage. Roosh picked up another victory here at AEW. After the match, Roosh smashed Preston Vance with a bullhorns. Again, referees ran down to prevent Roosh from inflicting any more punishment. So I guess Roosh is now part of the Don Callis family. I don't understand why Swerve Strickland is wrestling before All In. But whatever at this point. AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland versus the Stone Pitbull Tomohiro Ishii. I'm not going to say his first name. It's a pain in the ass. If I come, it's going to be known as Ishii. It's a lot easier for me. I'm sorry in advance. Swerve pulled out a quick drop kick on Ishii. The champ was cool, calm, and collected here. Ishii knocked down Swerve with a shoulder tackle. Swerve fired off forearms, but Ishii didn't budge. Swerve switched strategies on the fly and nailed Ishii with a side suplex. Swerve took flight, vaulting over the top rope, flipping and landing on Ishii on the arena floor. Ishii suplexed Swerve for near fall. Swerve ate a lariat from Ishii. Swerve face planted Ishii for a 2 count. Ishii staggered the champ with a headbutt, but Swerve rallied back with a headbutt and a brainbuster for a near fall. Ishii ducked the house call and ran into Swerve with a lariat, showing his fighting spirit. Swerve put an end to Ishii's momentum with a double foot stomp. Swerve connected with the house call out of nowhere and pinned Ishii. Why wouldn't the champion be winning on the road to All In? Claudia Castagnoli was backstage along with AEW Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada. They'll be having a face-to-face this Wednesday on Dynamite. Lexi Nair interviewed Statlander and Stokely Hathaway in the ring. Lexi had breaking news. An official challenge has been issued for All In 0 Hour, where it'll be Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii against Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway interrupted Lexi. Stokely, I know exactly what Willow is up to, and I think it's tacky and disgusting that Willow needs this short ball guy to follow her around to do her evil bidding. Lexi, before you cut me off, I have a specific challenge. There is a specific partner for Chris, and the partner is you, Stokely Hathaway. Statlander, we accept. So we can't have he's on TV already. We can't have another person. Why can't it be Trent Beretta? It is what it is. It is what it is. Lexi Nair was backstage with Top Flight, Layla Gray, and Action Andretti. M&M Connection, which is the Maximum Male Models, which I fucking remembered after the fact, showed up and insulted them. Action Andretti told them that talk was cheap and issued a challenge. Mansoor declined, saying he broke a nail in his last match, so he's not cosmetically cleared to compete tonight. Leo Rush walked onto the set with a message from Tony Khan. Next week, it's Top Flight against M&M Collection on Collision. Do I care? No. We have Hikaru Shida versus Aaliyah James, formerly from NXT UK. Shida hit a German suplex on James. Shida followed up with a swinging neck breaker on the mat and then cracked Aaliyah James with a knee strike. Shida landed on a Falcon Arrow and pinned Aaliyah James in a decisive fashion. Shida is very aggressive tonight, more than usual, said Tony Schiavone. My mind, that woman has come fallen significantly. Jim Ross had a sit-down interview with the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. Danielson, you've signed me 24 years ago. It was like, whoa. And here I am 24 years later. I'm ending my career, and it's just an honor to be here with you. I look back at all this stuff, and it feels like there's these moments where I just never understand. I watched you as a kid, and here I am with you now. As far as my body breaking down on things worry about, I think my neck and concussions. Honestly, I also think of all the ways my body has served me well. When I look back at what I had to do to get noticed, and the odds are I have to get neck surgery before the end of this year, and that's really the reality of it. I've had 4 opportunities to win the AEW World Heavyweight Championship before, and you've asked me before each time have said I am ready, and each time I failed. But interesting thing is, each time I fail, I learn something new about myself, and this will be 25 years in wrestling, and I think I'm the best I have ever been. I think I'm mentally strong. I've never been in my career. Sorry. I think that's what's going to pull me through. Now, with this whole situation, do they put it on him? I think they shouldn't. Because of the fact there's a bigger story. And if you're going to put the title on, where's the story between Swerve and Paige? So there's going to be a lot. This is going to be, see, I love it when it's unpredictable because you don't know. Do they actually going to give him the title? But that is a total title reign. It's a token title reign. And I think that's a little ridiculous, you know? And then it just cheapens the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. It's a token title reign. Lexi Nair interviewed Hikaru Shida. Shida, the last time we spoke, I called out Britt Baker, and she got a win on Dynamite. Congratulations, Britt. Now we're 2-2, and one day we will settle the score. But now I need a chance to go back to Wembley, and the last chance is Mercedes Moné. I am a 3-time world champion. I am the ace of this division. So put the TNT title on the line this Wednesday, and after I take the title, it'll be me who goes to Wembley. In your dreams, Hikaru. Number 1 contender for the AEW World Trios Championship in London. The House of Black versus the Bang Bang Gang. Who's going to face the Patriarch? Let's find out now, said Nigel. The Bang Bang Gang Triple T Buddy with a flurry of offense. Juice cracked Buddy with a headbutt. Matthews crawled to his corner, making a tag to Malachi. Malachi used a leg sweep on Juice. Brody rocketed out of the ring and wiped out the Bang Bang Gang with a tope suicida. Juice jabbed at Brody. Colton dropkicked Brody. Juice smashed Malachi with a cannonball in the corner. Brody got blasted with 310 to Yuma on Buddy. But Buddy jumped in to break up the pin attempt. Black wiped out Austin with the end kick. The Black Mass. Colton nailed Black with a spinning neck breaker. Brody walloped Colton with a boss man slam. Juice spiked Brody with a DDT. Buddy jumped on Juice with a Meteora. Both teams were down for the count. Christian began the 10 count. Buddy got to his feet, but Christian Cage speared him, calling for the bell, claiming either team made it to their feet before the count of 10. The Patriarch rushed the ring. The Patriarch assaulted both teams with steel chairs. What happened here? Asked Tony Schiavone. It seems they have worked out in the favor of the Patriarch, said Nigel. Look at this. They are trying to take out all the teams. They are trying to take out all the competition, yelled Tony Schiavone. Come Wembley Stadium, there will be no one to challenge the Patriarch for the trios titles, said Nigel. That's exactly what they wanted. who's going to contend for the World Trios Championships at Wembley. Who's going to stop Christian Cage and the Patriarch? Asked Tony. So that is that. It's going to be a fucking triple threat. And if Tony Khan was smart enough, they put the titles back on the House of Black. But that's not going to happen. Dynamite. Dynamite was coming from the Charterway Arena in Norfolk, Virginia. Virginia is for lovers. Started off with the TBS Championship match. Mercedes Moné versus Ricardo Shida. All right. Shida, a lot more aggressive than we normally see her. Backed Mercedes against the ropes. Shida lowered her shoulders and dropped the champion with a running tackle. Mercedes rallied back with an arm drag across the face. Shida escaped, and there it was a stalemate in the early goings, as both wrestlers went for a drop kick at the same time. Shida rocked Mercedes with a Hurricane Rana and a running knee strike. Shida followed up with a snap suplex. Shida nailed Mercedes with a backbreaker. Camille distracted Shida outside the ring, allowing Mercedes to capitalize with a Meteora on Shida. Mercedes peppered Shida with a forearm strike in the corner. Shida retaliated with a dropkick from the turnbuckles. Shida cracked Mercedes with an elbow to the face. Shida followed up with a jumping knee strike for a near fall on Mercedes. Mercedes hit a backstabber on Shida. Mercedes charged at Shida, but Shida dodged the champ. Mercedes connected with a Meteora, but Shida was able to kick out at the count of 2. Mercedes went for 3 Amigo suplexes, but Shida blocked the third suplex and countered with a Falcon Arrow for a 2 count. Camille pulled Mercedes out of the ring out of harm's way, which would have, if I was the referee, hey, Camille, get out of here. But of course, it's Mercedes, which she looked like a fucking moron at the Rangers facility. Dressing like a fucking Dallas Cowboy. You're not going to AT&T Center. I know when you were in Texas, sweetheart, you thought you were with WWE and you were in a smaller building. You got to get used to that, sweetheart. You got to get used to that, because let me tell you something, you're going to be in a small fucking building. You will never be in those bigger buildings. Not just yet. I'll give it another 5 years where you'll be out and everybody's going to be going in. Or who the hell knows, fucking goddamn Mario Emanuel make an offer to AEW, and then you'll be back under the same umbrella, doing those bigger shows. Shida grabbed a kendo stick and whacked Camille with it. Shida went to use it again, but Mercedes pulled it away. The ref abolished Mercedes, and while he was distracted, Camille booted Shida. Mercedes smashed Shida with a moneymaker and scored the pin. Dr. Britt Baker's music began to play. Camille saw the masked person in the front row wearing a hoodie, and thinking it was Baker, Camille pulled her over the guardrail instead. Baker jumped into the ring and ambushed Mercedes. Baker went for the lockjaw, but Camille ran in to break it up. Oh, for the love of God, I hope Britt beats her. And if I'm not mistaken, she's got 2 championships. I think since she's a double champion, I think those titles should be on the line everywhere she goes. Just saying. Renee Paquette interviewed Jay Lethal backstage. Hangman Adam Page interrupted the interview by attacking Lethal, and they brawled to the ring. So that was the next match. It's a segue right into the next match. Lethal used Page aggression against him by blasting Page with a consecutive tope suicidas. Talking about emptying the tank, that's tough to do, said Taz. Paige planted Lethal with a dead eye on the apron. Paige whipped Lethal into the barricade and then threw him into the timekeeper's table. Paige swarmed Lethal and battered Lethal with a stiff shots. Hangman spiked Lethal with a Death Valley driver for a near fall. Lethal rallied back with a lethal combination, but Paige kicked out at the count of 2. Adam Page locked in the crossface, but Lethal reversed with a roll-up, but Page escaped. Hangman gouged Lethal's eye and then walloped Lethal with a discus lariat. Page drilled Lethal with a buckshot lariat and pinned Lethal. No shit. Absolutely no shit. Sorry, family thing. The bastard Pac was backstage and demanding the camera person to get close. Pac, who's the number 1 contender for the American Championship? It's me. But Will Ospreay goes behind my back, slides into Tony Khan's office, and signs himself a championship matchup for Wembley Stadium. I'm sick of this crap, constantly overlooked, manipulated, and treated like a bum. I think you may be in the wrong company for that. Because I know for a fact Triple H treated you like a fucking king. So I think you need to start reevaluating, and I think you need to come back home. That was my ticket to Wembley's moment. But it's okay because I sanctioned my own revenge. I will face whoever leaves Wembley as the international champion 2 weeks later, September 7th, Chicago, Illinois, in the same arena that I beat Kenny Omega 5 years ago. So if it is MJF or if it is Will Ospreay at AEW All Out, I'm taking back what's mine and reminding the entire world that the bastard is capable of. Darby Allin walked onto the ramp. Scapegoat Jack Perry stormed Darby with a running knee strike. Jack Perry dragged Darby to the back. They brawled backstage. Jack Perry hurled a trash can at Darby Allin. Jack Perry lowered the garage door across Darby's chest, trapping Darby under it. Jack Perry grabbed a road case and tried to ram it into Darby, but the security held Darby back. Jack Perry demanded a coffin match at Wembley. Tony Khan made it official. Of course! It's for the sickos. Jesus Christ. What, are they can't do a one-on-one regular wrestling match? That title, when Cody Rhodes had it, was a wrestling title, not a fucking goddamn, oh, we can use it to do these gimmick matches because it's going to be able to get away with it. 1 week from Sunday at AEW All In, it's going to be the Jack Perry and Darby Allin in a coffin match. The Glamour sounds very, very close to the Glamazon. And she might be coming to AEW to join her husband, which I think this is going to be hilarious because you guys don't see it. I see it. I've been through WCW versus WWE, and I'm not joking. Cut and paste much. Mariah May had strong words for the AEW Women's World Champion, Toni Storm. This year, it's all about Mariah. Tony, your greatest mistake was being alive at the same time as me. You wanted to be a star. Well, now it's time to burn. Renee Paquette interviewed Mina Shirakawa. If I fuck it up, I'm sorry. Backstage, Mina said she has not heard from Mariah and has not heard from Tony. Mina said she still loves both. I just hope no one gets seriously hurt. Meaning she's gonna fucking screw Tony Storm. Three-way for the number one spot in the Casino Gauntlet at All In London. So that means we're gonna know who's the last one or whatever the case may be. This is comical. I don't want to know who's gonna be the last one. This defeats the whole purpose of this whole situation. So now we're giving an opportunity. Oh my God. And two of them are fucking the Undisputed Era. And I'm not saying Kingdom. That whole situation was supposed to be like a revival of that. Ain't happening. I'm sorry. Undisputed Era is its own beast. And those four men have never had it better. Don't at me and tell me when I'm telling lies. Thank you, Phillip Brooks. So we have Kyle O'Reilly versus Orange Cassidy versus the Roderick Strong. Roddy whipped Orange into the turnbuckles and chopped him. Kyle sent Roddy over the top rope with a clothesline. Cassidy followed up with a tope suicida. Roderick tossed Orange with a Uranagi throw into Kyle's back. Roddy drove Cassidy down with a back body drop. Kyle put Orange in a rear naked choke, but Roderick grabbed both of them in a double stronghold. Orange Cassidy dropped an elbow from the top rope, landing on Kyle, who had Roderick in a guillotine choke. Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions Bennett and Taven came down to ringside with steel chairs. Tomohiro Ishii and the Ring of Honor World Champion Mark Briscoe of the conglomeration ran down to even up the odds, pulling Taven and Bennett from the apron. Briscoe catapulted off the steel chair in the ring and flipped into Taven and Bennett on the arena floor. Orange rocketed out of the ring with a tope to Roderick. Roderick rammed Orange into the edge of the ring and wiped out Kyle. Kyle and Roderick traded strikes in the center of the ring. Orange Cassidy kicked both of them, stomping on them. Orange followed up with a double Hurricane Rana. Orange spiked Kyle with a DDT and then nailed Roderick with a beach break for a near fall. Kyle put Orange in an armbar and then applied a heel hook on Roderick. Orange escaped and punted Roderick with a PK. Roderick and Kyle connected with a high-low on Orange. Kyle and Roddy rocketed one another with elbow strikes. Roderick smashed Kyle with a sick kick. Orange rolled up Kyle with a crucifix pin and grabbed the victory. So you think that fucking Orange wasn't going to get this? Please. I know for a fact if Triple H called up Adam, Bobby, Kyle, and Roddy, we have $3 million a year for 5 years. We'll be there on a jet. Just send it down to fucking Jacksonville. You know what? I'll save you the money. I'll drive to Orlando. Pick us up there. We'll say hi to everybody. We'll pick up our old credentials. We'll get them reinstated. Everything will be okie dokie. We'll save it at NXT. We'll save it on the CW. We'll be the standard bearers. Don't worry. We'll get you. Pay those people. We have a face-to-face between the Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada and Claudio Castagnoli, moderated by Renee Paquette. What favoritism? What favoritism? I would have liked to see maybe a Tony Schiavone, maybe Nigel McGuinness. Give him a rub or two. Claudio, the championship means a whole lot to me. I always felt like it was my title. it bothered me when it wasn't successful in the tournament, and it was my first Dynamite in Europe. I'll make my title shot count. Okada, there is one champion now, me, not you. I am four-time G1 winner. You respect me when I beat you next week on Dynamite. Good luck, bitch. And they will be from Cardiff. Claudio, I want the true Okada next week, not this bootleg version. I'm going to bring my best next week in Wales, and you'll have 99 problems. Okada and this bitch 8-1. Another Renee fucking segment. Renee interviewed AEW World Trios champion, the Patriarch, backstage. Christian Cage, as far as last Saturday on Collision, I called that match right down the middle. The Bang Bang Gang and the House of Black couldn't answer the count of 10. I'm using this as a vehicle back to the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. This Friday on Rampage, my son Nick will have a match with Kip Sabian, but I won't be there in Virginia around those losers. We are the Patriarch. We are the faces of TBS now and forever. The way he was refereeing, I felt like I was watching Seth Rollins all over again. I told you, copy and paste. Tony Schiavone was in the ring to interview Hook. Hook was wearing a bandage over his eye as a result of fireball that FTW champion, the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, threw at him. Hook, I can't see out of my eye. You could see this, Chris. You could see what you did. Chris, I see your problem. I see the problem for you. I can see just fine with my other eye. I can see you. Chris, I want my FTW championship back. I want to fight for you for my title right here, right now. FTW champion, the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, walked onto the ramp with Big Bill and Brian Keith. Jericho, hi guys. Hook, you know what, Hook? You really are one stupid son of a bitch. Even after I blind you with a fireball, you still want to challenge me to a fight here tonight. You want to fight? You ain't getting one. It's not worth my time to fight you here tonight. But it's worth my time at Wembley Stadium. So I'll give you a shot at All In London. But there are a few caveats. It'll be your final shot at the FTW championship. And when I beat you, you're done. You walk away from me and out of Jericho's vortex. And the second caveat is next week, you get to face Big Bill. Big Bill, Hook, I'm going to beat you down and shove you straight up Taz's ass. Jericho, so if you agree to that, Hook, we'll see you at Wembley. Hook, yeah, Chris, I accept. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to tearing you limb from limb. Chris, after Wembley, you'll never be the same again. Nice dig. I like it. I swear, if Hook ever goes to NXT and he ends up on WWE, he is going to be the future. He's going to be the future. You're going to see him at WrestleManias from here to Kingdom Come. This fucking match pissed me off. Pissed me the fuck off. Because the whole situation that FTR wants that fucking spot. So they're going to fucking goddamn bury the Acclaim. You know what? Fuck this. If I was Tony, I'd say, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to get this fucking situation. We are going to do a triple threat. And in that triple threat, we are going to make sure that there is going to be a winner. Meaning that we're going to get in one enforcer to help out the actual referee. You know who should fucking goddamn come? You know who should really come? How about a person who is very familiar with tag team wrestling that would fit in perfectly for that match. How about you bring in, since you have fucking goddamn the Von Erichs, why don't you have uh, uh, Von Erich do the enforcing? Or somebody more reputable. Maybe maybe one of the Rock and Roll Express. Maybe why don't you bring one of the Demolition? Maybe you could bring in somebody that's going to be to facilitate that, because the tag team that I want with the titles is the Acclaim. So the tag team AEW World Tag Team titles: the Young Bucks versus the Acclaim. The Acclaim jumped the Bucks as the Bucks were making their entrance. Bowens jumped off the stage onto the champions. Back in the ring, Bowens smashed Matt's face into the mat. Daddy Ass walked to the ring and fired up the Acclaim. Caster and Daddy Ass had Matt cornered outside the ring, but Matt ran away. Daddy Ass was going to whack Nick with a steel chair, but the ref ejected Daddy Ass from ringside. Matthew pummeled Max with right hands. Nick raked his fingernails down Caster's back. Nick inadvertently kicked Matt, allowing Bowens to tag in. Bowens got cracked with a super kick from Nick. Matt nailed Bowens with sliced bread, followed by a knee struck by Nick for a near fall on Bowens. The Bucks pumped up their Reeboks and blasted Caster with its super kicks. Bowens deflated the Bucks with a double lariat. Caster tagged in and dropped Nick with a sling blade. Caster pressed Matthew and power slammed him into the turnbuckles. Caster jumped over the top rope and landed on Nicholas. Caster came off the top rope with a crossbody press on Nicholas for a near fall. Van chanted, "This is awesome. This is awesome." Nick went for a senton, but Caster countered by raising his knees. Matthew powerbombed Bowens onto the ramp. Matthew shoved Caster backwards, inadvertently knocking down the referee. Matthew kicked Caster with a low blow. Matthew brought his championship title into the ring. FTR ran down to the ring. Dax Harwood grabbed the title belt away from Matthew, while Cass Wheeler tried to help the ref back to his feet. Matthew spat at Dax's face. Dax dropped Matthew with a double leg takedown. Dax grounded and pounded Matthew. The referee got to his feet and saw this, and the referee disqualified the Acclaim. FTR just cost the Acclaim the AEW World Tag Team Champions, said Excalibur. Daddy Ass sprinted back to the ring. Security had to keep the Acclaim from FTR separated while the Bucks walked away laughing. You can't blame Dax. The guy spit in his face. FTR was just trying to help, but I understand why the Acclaim were mad, said Taz. We never know how much this match would have ended. We'll never know how this match would have really ended, added Excalibur. Christopher Daniels was backstage with Renee Paquette. Daniels, that was a definitive victory. This issue between the Bucks and the Acclaim hasn't ended. But I have an answer. This Saturday on Collision, it will be the Acclaim versus FTR. The winner will go on to face the Bucks at All In London. Renee Paquette made the best team win. Wow, Collision must see. Asshole. I would have fucking fucked the Bucks, and I would have said, you know what, you assholes, you morons, you blithering fucking idiots. You just cost yourself a one-on-one. Now it's going to be a triple threat. Morons. Swerve Strickland, main event. Swerve Strickland versus Wheeler Yuta. Yuta charged at Swerve, but Swerve countered with strikes. Swerve whipped Yuta into the steel cage. Swerve got into Danielson's face. and said he was going to retire him next week. Swerve nailed Yuta with the two consecutive backbreakers. Swerve locked Yuta in an inverted submission and then cradled Yuta for a near fall. Swerve tried to for a power bomb, but Yuta reversed it, sending Swerve into the turnbuckles. Wheeler Yuta followed up with the elbow suicida. Yuta jumped off the top turnbuckle, but Swerve dodged him. Yuta rolled out of Swerve's grasp and applied an ankle lock. Swerve escaped and the ankle lock, but Yuta dropped a hammer and anvil elbows on Swerve. Yuta rolled up Swerve in the seatbelt for a near fall. Wheeler drilled Swerve with the German suplex. Wheeler chopped at Swerve, but Swerve absorbed the contact and left. Swerve bashed Wheeler with an uppercut headbutt. Swerve cracked Yuta with a house call kick. Swerve nailed Yuta with a second house call kick and then a third house call. Swerve grabbed Yuta by his arms and stomped on him. Swerve grounded and pounded and defenseless Yuta. The referee stopped the match because Yuta was unconscious. Danielson jumped into the ring to stop the punishment. Swerve, that was just an example of what I'm going to do to you at Wembley Stadium in 2 weeks. Brian, you're going to bring your family, right? Because right where you sat and watched me mutilate Wheeler, it's the same thing I'm going to do to you in front of your daughter. I'm going to force you to retire because that's what I'm going to do when I cripple you. Danielson turned his back on to check on Yuta. Swerve ran down to the ring to blindside Danielson with a house call kick. Swerve taunted and downed Danielson. Will All in London be the end of an era? Will it be the end of Bryan Danielson? We'll find out at Wembley, said Excalibur. Now, Collision is going to be from the Esports Stadium in Arlington, Texas, and next week it will be coming from the Ithaca Arena, Cardiff, in Cardiff, Wales. It's not this. I don't think it's the same one that WWE ran in as at Clash of. And I don't think it's the same one. I'd have to do my homework. Somebody would have to Google it and let me know. But that's it. That's it. That's where we're headed. Now we are going to go to SmackDown from last week, where the Tribal Chief, the original Tribal Chief, made his return. So SmackDown had Roman Reigns make his return. AJ Styles will make his return. The LA Knight will make his appearance as United States champion, and the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, will make an appearance. Women's champion 2024. There was a champion celebration for Nia Jax, I believe. No, Jade Cargill versus Alba Fire, and United States Championship contender match. Andrade versus Santos Escobar. Tag team match, A-Town Down Down Under, versus the Street Profits. Tag team match, Pretty Deadly versus DIY. Let me see if I can get more people in here. I'm like talking to myself here. So the show opened up with a recap of past Saturday's night's SummerSlam. Corey Graves, Wade Barrett then welcomes us to the show. Cody Rhodes makes his way down to the ring. So Cody Rhodes starts off by asking Tulsa what they want to talk about. Then he says he doesn't want to delve into the past. Rhodes then says all eyes are on what happens next with the championship. And he wants to talk about who he defends the title against at Bash of Berlin. Solo Sikoa comes out, and he makes his way alongside Tama Tonga and Tangaloa. Sikoa says he doesn't care what Rhodes wants to talk about or the fans want to hear because he wants to talk about SummerSlam. Sikoa then says he and Rhodes both know that he would have dethroned him had Roman Reigns not got involved in the match. Then demands Rhodes give him another title shot. Asshole, you wanted the blood. This whole thing was the bloodline. It was a no disqualification, so he was in his rights. You now have to go to the back of the line, sweetheart, or the bougie, or the Timu, or the Wish version of the Tribal Chief here. And speaking of this, I don't know who's been, but Alpha, Roman Reigns' uncle, is still alive. Can we please stop it? He's holding on, but he's still alive, for Christ's sakes. Rhodes then says Sikoa wants to talk about SummerSlam. He should discuss Jacob Fatu getting injured. Reigns wanting his retribution and coming up short. Rhodes then says Sikoa has no claim to a rematch. Sikoa, Tonga, and Loa jump up on the apron, but Kevin Owens makes his way down to the ring with 2 chairs in hand. Owens hands one over to Rhodes, and the bloodline backs down. Sikoa says he will deal with Rhodes later after he finds Reigns, and Rhodes tells him that he'll be waiting. Rhodes' music then begins playing. As the bloodline heads to the back, Owens then exits the ring, but Rhodes calls for the music to be stopped and calls Owens back into the ring. Rhodes says he wants to talk about who he wants to defend his title against at Bash in Berlin, and he wants to face Owens. Owens says he, as much as he appreciates, he doesn't deserve a title match. Oh my God, we're actually having logic here. Hot diggity dog. Owens says the title match needs to be earned. He hasn't earned the shot. Owens then tells Rhodes that he's not the guy. Rhodes then says he had a feeling Owens wouldn't accept a title shot, but he has been in the trenches with him, and he's still the prize fighter in the prime of his career. Rhodes then says he's getting ready to walk to Nick Aldis's office to get Owens the title shot, and he's pretty sure Aldis will understand where he's coming from. Rhodes then says Owens will face him at Bash in Berlin, then the heads up to the back as Owens follows him up the ramp. I'm telling you, this is going to be a banger of a fucking match. I can't wait for it. Corey Graves and Wade Barrett then run through the previously advertised matches. A-Town Down Under make their way down to the ring for the first match. And then we get an ad from Monday Night Raw. Byron Saxton then shows interview with B-Fab and the Street Profits. They speak about how it's been 3 years since they have had held championship gold, and the say A-Town Down Under is their best way. B-Fab and the Street Profits head out to the ring for the match. Match starts off with Austin Theory and Angelo Dawkins. Dawkins nails Grayson Waller on the apron. Theory then beats Dawkins down, then tags in Waller. Waller then continues wearing Dawkins down, then tags Theory back and pulls Montez Ford off the apron. Dawkins then delivers some right hands on Theory and then sends him into the corner and hits a splash on him. Dawkins then charges at Theory, but Theory sends Dawkins crashing into the ring post. Waller then tags back in and nails Dawkins on the outside. Waller and Theory then get in B-Fab's face on the outside, but Ford flies over the top rope to land on them both. Theory then hits a missile dropkick on Dawkins and tags in Waller. Theory then gets Dawkins up on his shoulders as Waller climbs up the ropes, but Dawkins escapes and takes down A-Town Down Under. Ford then tags in and hits a crossbody on Waller off the top rope. Ford then hits a clothesline on Waller and a flapjack on Theory, then hits one on Waller. Ford then climbs to the top and flies, but Waller moves out of the way and sends him crashing into the corner. Theory then tags in and hits a double rolling elbow on Ford while Waller, but Ford responds with a back elbow on Theory. Waller then pulls Ford out of the ring, but Ford hits a super kick on Waller, and Dawkins sends him crashing over the barricade near the timekeeper's area with a shoulder pounce. Dawkins then tags in and gets Theory in an electric chair position as Ford climbs to the top, but then hits a blockbuster Japanese Ocean Cyclone suplex combination on Theory for the win. And the Street Profits pick up the win. Now, Street Profits has something to do with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is no longer under WWE contract, as well as MVP. So they're no longer under contract. And I'm glad that they're not doing releases. I'm glad. Use them, and then when you know that it's getting closer, then send them home. Hey, use that time to start prepping for your future. We head to the back where Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens continue their discussion earlier in the evening. As Nick Aldis listens, Aldis reveals that he was going to give the Undisputed Championship match to Roman Reigns. But why? Why? You're going to... No! Why? Oh, my own... So we're going to start saying Roman in the back. Like Charlotte in the back. Because you know when she comes back, she's going to be wanting a title shot. And she's going to do nothing to get in. She's going to be champion probably by the year. Or they're going to give her another fucking Royal Rumble, have her main event WrestleMania, and then that whole thing with Rhea Ripley putting her over is going to be negated because Nia Jackson's going to have to hand her the title. Watch it. And Owens becomes frustrated. Owens then questions why Reigns immediately gets a title shot before Aldis grants him an undisputed WWE Championship match at Bash of Berlin. Owens then complains about all of the interference during Roman's title matches. Owens then says the rematch clause hasn't been enforced in years, and he never got one when he lost the World Heavyweight Championship. Owens then tells Aldis if he wants to see someone who deserves a title shot more than Reigns, he should go to the locker room, open the door. Aldis then says he didn't need to. Aldis then says Cody sees it. The fans see it, and now he sees it. Owens then tells Cody that he guesses he will see him in Berlin. Excellent choice. Mainstream headlines on Roman Reigns' return at SummerSlam were shown. Then we get a video package recapping the 2024 WWE Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax beating Bayley to win the Women's Championship at SummerSlam. We had to the back where Tiffany Stratton is shown barking orders to the crew members about next week's championship celebration for Nia when she gets frustrated and tells the man to leave. Pretty Deadly shown and wants Stratton to host their party when they win the tag team titles. Stratton then makes her exit once Prince and James start talking about their musical. Stratton then runs into Chelsea Green and Piper Niven after mocking Stratton's outfit. Green then says everyone knows that Stratton just wants her to cash in her Money in the Bank contract on Nia Jax. Niven then agrees with Green. Stratton then calls Green delusional and whips her hair and Green's face before walking away. Now, hear me out. Stratton could get the next Money in the Bank. Could get the 2-time Money in the Bank winner. I think to pay Green back for what she did at Money in the Bank, I think Stratton needs to put that briefcase up. And I think so we could save fucking Stratton from not successfully, because it's going to happen. Let's do it at Bad Blood. By that time, you'll sell enough pink briefcases. Gives you a second opportunity to make another one. Green comes out with one, and you get the best of both worlds. Because I know for a fact that would be a great idea. And somehow Nia Jax costs Tiffany Stratton that briefcase. Then she automatically will get a title shot, and she can lose clean without fucking up the Money in the Bank briefcase. Have Chelsea, and she can possibly be that one. I would rather have Chelsea Green take the briefcase. And I think she should at least have the title for at least a month. Transitional, but still. She can. Oh, fucking Matt Cardona. And if she's legit. Oh, no. We will never hear the end of it. She will be rubbing it in his face from here to Kingdom Come. I'm not kidding. We get a video package recapping Alba Fire and Isla Dor beating Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair to retain their women's tag team titles last week with help from Blair Davenport. Jade Cargill makes her way to the ring for a match with Alba Fire. The match starts off with Cargill nailing Fire with a forearm, but Fire responds with a super kick and goes for the pin. Cargill then kicks out, and Fire delivers some right hands on Cargill. Fire then wears Cargill down with a submission, but Cargill responds with a super kick on Fire. Cargill then follows up with a Jaded for the win. After the match, Blair Davenport blindsides Cargill, and Fire beat Blair down. Naomi Music comes and makes her way down to the ring to even up the odds, basically. Corey Graves then hypes WWE United States Champion, the megastar LA Knight, appearing. Graves then hypes NXT taking place in Chicago with CM Punk on the 1st and St. Louis with Randy Orton on October 8th for the first 2 weeks of CW. Then we get a graphic showing that the return of Roman Reigns resulted in over 104 million social media views. Hey, TK, you would love that fucking just what. And the funny thing is, they just fucking said, "Oh, we have 1 million fucking what is it? Followers on some sort of social media." Rhea Ripley has more on her personal account than you have on yours. Do we care? No. When you do over 100 million subscribers or 100 million subs, then we can celebrate. We get a video package recapping LA Knight's beating Logan Paul at SummerSlam, while also showing that MGK appeared with Paul, the new WWE United States Champion. The megastar LA Knight then makes his way down to the ring to address the fans. LA Knight starts off by telling the fans, "Let me talk to you." Then says, "SummerSlam has come and gone." Knight then says he told the fans he would become United States champion, and he done just that. Knight then says that the United States Championship makes him a marked man, but makes him marked man since he walked into SmackDown. Knight then says he has knocked everyone down and he stepped up that that has stepped up to him. And he can't stop being the United States champion with everyone saying his name, L.A. Knight. Yeah. Santos Escobar's music then hits and he makes his way down alongside the rest of Legado del Fantasma. Escobar congratulates Knight on becoming champion. Then says it's not every day that a guy like Knight gets a taste of gold. Escobar then says he doesn't buy Knight as a champion because he's not a good fit and he's the one that truly deserves to be United States champion with everyone saying his name. Knight then says Escobar deserves everything he bad that's coming to him and it's his own game with everybody saying his name. WWE Speed Champion Andrade makes his way down to the ring for the next match. And we get a video of, oh my God, the reemergence of Giovanni Vinci. And I'm super happy. The mid card is going to be chef's kiss. Now move like 2 or 3 guys to the main and we'll be good to go. Everything will be perfect on SmackDown. Number 1 contender for the United States Championship match. Santos Escobar versus Andrade El Idolo. Match starts off with Andrade flying over the top rope to land on Escobar. Both men get back inside the ring, and Escobar nails Andrade with a jumping knee. Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin appear at the ringside and begin brawling with Angel and Berto on the outside. Escobar then wears Andrade down on the outside before both men get back in the ring, and Escobar pins Andrade. Andrade then kicks out, and Escobar wears him down with an arm and shoulder submission. Escobar then charges at Andrade in the corner, but Andrade nails him with a boot. Escobar then hits an enziguri on Andrade, and both men teeter on the ropes. Escobar then looks to hit a suplex on Andrade, but Andrade blocks it and hits a sunset flip on Escobar out of the corner. Andrade then charges at Escobar in the corner, but Escobar rolls out of the ring. Escobar then hits Escobar with a moonsault off the ropes, then gets Escobar back inside the ring and climbs to the top. Andrade then hits a crossbody on Escobar, goes for a pin, but Escobar kicks out. Andrade then hits the Three Amigos on Escobar and goes for the pin, but Escobar kicks out. Escobar then hits a reverse hurricanrana off Andrade off the top rope, then looks to hit a meteor on Andrade in the corner. Andrade then sees him coming and moves out of the way and then hits Escobar with a dropkick and climbs to the top rope. Andrade then looks to hit a moonsault on Escobar, rolls out of the way, and Andrade immediately transitions into a standing moonsault. Carmelo Hayes then jumps up on the apron, but Andrade nails him and hits a back elbow on Escobar. Andrade goes for the pin, but Escobar kicks out. Andrade then charges at Escobar in the corner, but Hayes pulls Escobar out of the way from the outside, and then the referee doesn't see it. Escobar then takes advantage and rolls up Andrade for the win. So Escobar is going to be going against LA Knight for the United States Championship, and I think that could be at Bash in Berlin, which I'm hoping. We get highlights of the Bloodline and DIY from the tag team title match from last week. Gargano then cuts a promo backstage while walking backstage. Ciampa accuses the Bloodline of stealing their titles. Gargano then speaks about losing in his hometown in front of his 2-year-old son. Ciampa then calls it day 1 of DIY's redemption. Gargano then plays to Tulsa's crowd, and DIY makes their way down to the ring for the match of the night. Corey Graves then speaks at ringside about how the world of WWE, in every great story, every great hero needs a villain. Graves then says they are mourning the loss of one of the greatest bad guys in the industry has ever known, as well as one of the greatest minds that have ever existed behind the scenes. We get a memorial video package of the late great Kevin Sullivan. And if this man does not go in the Hall of Fame this year, we have some serious issues. I don't know. Maybe it's because he's connected to Nancy. Nancy's connected to Chris. And it's just, I think that's terrible. Honestly, just to fucking even put more of salt into the wounds, I would actually go to Nancy's family and say, I cannot put her in as Nancy Benoit. We can't. We are going to put her in as woman. She's known as woman. I don't understand why they don't do that. Then whatever, like Legends deal that they could do or whatnot, could go to maybe a domestic violence. They could do something with domestic violence, and there you go. Kevin Sullivan belongs in the WWE Hall of Fame. All right? And they're going to Vegas. We need to do this. We need to get Kevin Sullivan in the WWE Hall of Fame, where there should be more people in it than they really should. And please don't ask me, oh, should Chris Benoit be in it? Absolutely not. What he did to his wife and son negates everything. Basically, when he decided that he was going to do what he was going to do, he sealed his fate. Sorry, there's no coming back from that. We can't give him a second chance, no nothing. He killed his family. Oh, fucking well. Well, hold on. Breaking news. Let me check. Let's see, because now it's almost kind of certain now. Hold on. Small destroyer. Oh, it's about Alpha. There's news coming out about Alpha Sika. I will divulge it when I get more information, but it's most likely he has officially passed away. We have the lineup for SmackDown for tonight. We head to the back where we see Grayson Waller, Austin Theory complaining to Nick Aldis. Waller mentions being on Raw on the day off. Theory mentions Waller facing Kevin Owens. Aldis says it's a great idea and books the match for next week. Waller isn't happy. Theory says Waller should trust him. Tag team match. Pretty Deadly versus DIY. The match starts off with Johnny Gargano and Kit Wilson. Elton Prince tags in before Tommaso I don't know why my fucking thing, but yeah, once I get more information, I'm looking at my X account right now, and I'm hoping that I could get more information because it was been like a situation with he was alive or he wasn't alive, and I didn't want to say anything until I actually got this. So that starts at Elton Prince tags in before Tommaso Ciampa gets inside the ring, and all four men begin brawling. Prince is sent to the outside. Ciampa catapults him out of the ring. DIY then looks to hit a couple of tope suicidas on Pretty Deadly, but Pretty Deadly sees them coming, hits them with a forearms. DIY then hits Pretty Deadly with a couple of drop kicks on their spine and flies over the top rope and landed on them on the outside. Ciampa then tags in and nails Wilson and Prince with series of clotheslines. Ciampa then hits Wilson with a reverse DDT before Gargano tags in and both men double team on Prince. Gargano then sets up for a spear through the middle rope, but Prince nails him with a knee on the midsection. Ciampa then tags in, but Prince wears him down and double teams on him with Wilson. Wilson then nails Gargano with a forearm, but Gargano looks to hit with one of his own. Prince then pushes Wilson out of the way and takes the move, and Wilson then nails him. Prince then tags in, and Pretty Deadly looks to hit the spilt milk on Ciampa. Gargano then hits Prince with a spear through the middle rope and Ciampa nails Wilson with a jumping knee on Gargano. Then tags is and DIY hits a shatter machine on Prince. They then follow up with Meet Me in the Middle for the win, and DIY picks up the win. Solo Sikoa was shown backstage, standing backstage. Tama Tonga and Tagaloa shows up and says Roman Reigns wasn't in the building. Sikoa then says, "Don't worry, he'll be here." Sikoa, Tonga, and Loa make their way down to the ring. So Solo starts off by demanding Tulsa acknowledge him, and says, in case Roman hasn't noticed, he is the tribal chief now. Sikoa then says if Reigns wants his former position back, then he can come out and get it. Reigns' music then hits and then makes his way out. Tonga then looks to meet Reigns on the ramp, but Reigns nails him and sends Loa crashing into the ring steps. Reigns then hits both Loa and Tonga with ring steps, then stares Sikoa down as Sikoa takes off his jacket. Reigns then gets inside the ring and delivers some right hands on Sikoa. Reigns then hits Sikoa with a Superman punch and looks to follow it up with a spear. Tonga and Loa then pull Sikoa out of the ring before Reigns can hit it. But Reigns spots Sikoa's leg and picks it up. Tonga and Loa then blindside Reigns, and Tonga hands Sikoa his leg. Tonga and Loa then beat Reigns down, but Reigns nails him with a couple of Superman punches. Reigns then hits a spear on Loa, then hits a second one on Tonga on the outside through the barricade, near the timekeeper's area. Reigns then grabs a chair and repeatedly hits Loa across his spine. Sikoa then places his leg across his chest as Reigns continues hitting Loa with a chair. Fans then cheer for Roman as the show comes to the close. And that is it. Hey, Alyssa, how are you, girl? I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. So, I still want to see Tama Tonga and Roman Reigns in the ring, and it just, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I don't know about you guys. I want to see. All right. On to Raw, and then I'm going to get you out of here. I'm doing well, Alyssa. I'm doing well. Just hanging in there with a lot of shit that's going on in my private life. All right, Monday Night Raw, and then I'm going to get you out of here. Raw was action packed. Not as good as was it a week ago, but I almost was going to start giving you that. All right. Rhea Ripley will kick off the show. Odyssey Jones will make an appearance. Damian Priest versus Carlito. Randy Orton will make an appearance. 2 out of 3 falls match. Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. Number 1 contenders match for the women's tag team title. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks versus Io Sky and Kairi Sane. And we have a tag team match, Brutus and Julius Creed versus Akira Tozawa and Otis. Why Liv Morgan? Everything not even good on them. Yeah. Liv Morgan is just a placement holder until she gets the comeuppance. I can't wait to see it. She's just in a place right now that she's in the right place at the right time. Nobody, how can I explain this? She is just basically she was placed there. Anybody can be placed there, and that's it. Show opens up with a video package recapping Dominic Mysterio helping Liv Morgan defeat Rhea Ripley for the women defeat Rhea Ripley, and WWE World Tag Team Champion Finn Balor helping Gunther defeat Damian Priest at SummerSlam. There was footage from last week, Raw, of everything that transpired between Judgment Day, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley. Michael Cole welcomes us to the show as footage of Judgment Day arriving at the arena is shown. Randy Orton is also shown standing in the front of Raw's stage earlier in the day, and the separated arrivals of Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. Rhea Ripley then showed her making way out to the ring, and we have Rhea Ripley starts off by saying she had a little time to think about what happened at SummerSlam, and she felt very possible in the situation, the one she's going through. Ripley then says she felt embarrassment, heartbreak, and above else anger. Ripley then calls Dominic Mysterio out and says he stabbed her in the back, but not as deep as he thought he did. Ripley then calls Liv Morgan and tells her she can't run forever. Ripley then says it's time to remind Morgan and Dominic just who she is. Morgan and Dominic then appear in the crowd, and Morgan greets Ripley. Morgan says Dominic has some things to get off his chest, and Dominic says he left Ripley because he's a man that deserves to be treated like one. Is she going to get him a fucking title shots? Is she going to be able to do this shit? No. Is she going to be able to fucking goddamn stand up to men and body slam them like she did to Luke Gallows? Is she going to be able to take on other men like Akira Tozawa? It's not happening. And how many times is she going to wear those jean shorts where they're going to not flatter her anymore? What, is that the only thing that she can wear to fucking goddamn get a guy? I mean, I have to get my magnifying glass to see her ass and her tits. I mean, come on. And if you think you're going to take Liv Morgan over fucking Rhea Ripley, you're out of your mind. Liv Morgan can't do shit. Every time she's on the fucking microphone, it looks like she's going to be a hysterical cry. She can't compose herself from voice cracks, and she can't even fucking get through. Oh, you know what? It sounds like fucking Nikki Bella. Is she taking fucking Nikki Bella promo class? Because you're failing, toots. Liv Morgan out and tells her she can't run forever. Liv Morgan then says it's time to... Dominic then says Ripley tried to change him instead of letting him be himself. But she was making you a man. You were a little boy. She was teaching you to be a man. Now you have to fucking actually work. Because now you're going to have to fucking protect Liv Morgan. Rhea, you had no worries about protecting. She protected you. Now you're going to have to actually fucking work. You're going to have to take those beatings, sweetheart. You're going to have to take those beatings. Morgan lets him be himself, unlike Ripley. Dominic then says Morgan is finally helping him beat his deadbeat father. Well, let's do a history lesson here. Sit a spell. Little history lesson with Mel's Mat Chat. When he had his match at WrestleMania 39 against his father, she was preparing for a match with Charlotte Flair. So I'm sorry that wasn't a priority for you. You're supposed to support her. Where the fuck were you for her match? Oh, is she supposed to be fucking protecting your ass? How about a relationship is a two-way street, right? If she's supporting you, you're supposed to be supporting her. Kiss my ass, Dominic. Kiss my ass. Seriously. You think you're a big man. You're not. You're a little man. Just like the lyrics in the DX song. I'll treat you like you think you're a big man. I'll treat you like you're a little man. And I guarantee you it wasn't deep enough. Ripley then tells Dominic that she's proud of him and everything he's accomplished the last couple of years. Ripley then says he finally did something for himself, but she really wanted him to beat Ray on his own, so there was no excuse as to why he couldn't beat him. Morgan then says Ripley only said one thing true, that is, Dominic is hers. Morgan then says Ripley has nothing and she has no family. Morgan then says Ripley's real family is the thousands of miles away in Australia, and she took her Judgment Day family from her. Morgan then says she took Dominic and the Women's World Championship from Ripley, and everything that was Ripley now is hers. So she's becoming a little bit of a Mickie James situation. I mean, I'm waiting for her to fucking goddamn dye her hair black. And to make her look tough, she has to wear a fucking ton of clothes. Please. I've seen it before, and I'll see it multiple times. Once she loses that title, her relevance is going to go out the window. Rhea Ripley is the star here. She's just the supporting. Ripley then says, while Morgan has taken a lot from her, she's still left standing. Ripley then says, as long as she's standing, she will come for Morgan. Damian Priest then sneaks up behind Morgan and Dominic and attacks Dominic as Morgan runs down the stairs. Dominic then and Priest then brawls through the Moody Center and as Ripley joins them and goes after Morgan. Priest then and Dominic then brawl through the crowd and onto the ringside area, then gets him into the ring and looks to hit the South of Heaven on him. Carlito then attacks Priest, but Priest manages to clothesline Carlito out of the ring. Then we get an ad for SmackDown touting another appearance of Roman Reigns and Nia Jax's celebration. So we get a first match. Carlito versus Damian Priest. Because Finn Balor is a fucking coward. The match starts off with Priest delivering some stomps on Carlito in the corner. Priest then hits strikes on Carlito, then sends him crashing into the mat. Carlito then runs out of the ring, but Priest chases him around the ring. Carlito then looks to send Priest crashing into the ring post, but Priest stops his momentum and sends Carlito back into the ring. Priest then goes for Razor's Edge, but Carlito escapes and hits him with a DDT. Carlito then hits a kick on Priest's face, but Priest responds with a Mongolian chop and an elevated flatliner. Priest then climbs to the top, but Carlito meets him up there and hits him with a superplex. Carlito then hits Priest with a running knee and nails him with a clothesline. Priest then follows up with a twisting neckbreaker and a strike, then nails Carlito with a kick and a back elbow in the corner. Priest then hits a broken arrow on Carlito, but Carlito responds with a kick. Priest then hits a kick of his own on Carlito and turns Carlito inside out with a clothesline. Priest follows it up with a South of Heaven for the win, and he picks up the win. Then after the match, JD McDonough attacks Priest, but where's Finn Balor? Where's Finn Balor? I thought there was no leaders. Shouldn't they all be working as a team? People think Liv Morgan. Yeah, fucking Liv Morgan can kiss my ass. Come on. Kiss my ass. She's the victim. Please. Rhea Ripley put it perfectly. I've seen it on TikTok, sweetheart. She knows that people will turn on her. Fucking, she got a head start and stabbed fucking goddamn Liv Morgan in the back. And she's probably glad that she did because she would have done it first. So she beat her to it. Priest nails McDonough with a right hand. Balor and Dominic then attack Priest with Liv Morgan not far behind. But she can't fucking touch him. She's just going to stand there. Rhea would have fucking joined in. That's the difference. If you don't see it, I can't help you. Not far behind, Rhea Ripley's music hits and she makes her way down to the ring. Ripley hits a low blow on Carlito on the ramp, then stares down Balor down in the ring. McDonough then looks to hit Ripley, but Priest nails him with a boot to his midsection, follows up with the South of Heaven. Ripley and Priest then hug, but Dominic looks to blindside them by flying off the ropes. Priest then sees Dominic coming and sends him over to Ripley. Ripley looks to hit him with a riptide, but Morgan saves him. But she couldn't get in there and fucking mix it up with Damian and everything? I cannot wait to fucking have her. God, I hope that Damian Priest actually goes after her. Because let me tell you something. If Ripley can handle it, she can handle it. And then that's when I'm going to tell you, you told you so. We head to the back where we see Alpha Academy, Ivy Nile, then show up and pulls Maxie Dupree aside and asks her about their partnership. But Dupree tells her that she needs to be with her Alpha Academy family right now. Niles then says she knew Dupree will say that. We get another VHS from the Wyatt Six, which Bo Dallas reflects on the in-ring debut of Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis, and Joe Gacy last week. Dallas says everything is coming full circle. Dallas then says it's been heavy lately and there are a lot of emotions, especially last week in Baltimore. Dallas then says there where it all started. Dallas then says the Wyatt Six has had their debut where it all began. Dallas then says you were there and something big is happening, but the work is not done. Dallas then looks at a static filled television while a distorted voice says work must continue and the other other doors shall be opened. Dallas then says repeatedly, my life for you. I would actually like for them to absorb Braun Strowman. And this is how they're going to do it. Have Bo Dallas just, as him, go up to him and has the hurt, the hurt glove, hurt heel. Have him like just go over and just like tap his face. And then have something happen with that. He gets back into the Wyatt, have him join, they will be unstoppable. Then, if he can be used and he can still be on TV, but still be used, and not having him to be put into a match, and it'll mask a lot of stuff. And if they want to, if they bring back in and they bring in Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross has to be the one to get her, to turn her back. And it's not how she is with Abby the Witch. She needs to come in as Nikki Cross. Everything is fine. But then she gets the hurt glove, and she goes, "Oh my God, you're back!" And da 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 da. We missed you. Bam! We got those two into the back, and then you're off to the races. Now that's a faction. That's a faction. I don't know about you. That's a faction. We then see Xavier Woods walking backstage. He finds Kofi Kingston and Odyssey Jones. Woods says he wanted to talk to Kingston, who excitedly told him that they can return the favor by being in the corner of Jones tonight. Woods then tries to put on a happy face, but it's clearly annoyed. Oh, I will be so happy. I will be so happy if Xavier Woods turns. He's got to turn. It's inevitable. There's always a thing. Until you experience the dark, you can't enjoy the light. We need him to turn. Because if Biggie is not coming back, we need something to keep this thing going. And then I would think, how about bringing over Ashanti Theodonis and what's his face? Cedric Alexander. Team them up. And then you throw in, I don't know, possible Trick Williams with Kofi and Odyssey and have them battle it out. It wouldn't hurt. Because we don't know when Big E's coming back. And it's unfair to, keep pining for him and having a spot. They need to start moving on. He'll always have a spot. It's just, it's going to be needing to be fulfilled right now. So we had a singles match. Odyssey Jones versus Vince Winey. He is an NXT prospect. And he's also Cora Jade's boyfriend. I know. Lucky him. I think she downgraded from Braun Breaker, but that's besides the point. The match starts off with Winey wasting no time after Jones. Jones then responds with a splash and sends Winey across the ring and delivers some clotheslines on Winey in the corner and followed up with a body slam. Kingston then enthusiastically cheers Jones on and Woods supports him as Jones hits a splash on Winey in the corner. Winey then hits a stomp on Jones' calf, but Jones responds with a spinning sidewalk slam for the win, and it was elementary that he was going to win. So then after the match, we have Final Testament. Cross asks if this is another day for the New Day or another lie. Cross then says, while it might seem that Kingston is using Jones to replace Big E, the truth is that Kingston is using Jones to replace Woods. Woods then tells Cross what is he trying to do? Won't work, then looks to challenge the Final Testament to a tag team match with him and Woods. Kingston then grabs the mic from Woods and challenges the Final Testament to a six-man tag team match between him, Woods, Jones. Cross then accepts Kofi's challenge. Let's check to see if this whole thing with Alpha Sika is legit, and we can then officially send our condolences out. Still no confirmation from WWE, so that's it. Let's just say here that he's still alive. Okay. We then see Adam Pearce on his phone in his office saying he wanted to make something official by the end of the night. Drew McIntyre then enters the room. Pearce tells him that CM Punk wasn't in the building due to his travel issues. McIntyre then takes issue with SmackDown wrestler challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship. McIntyre then says Orton is a viper waiting to strike, but he will not let it happen on his turf. McIntyre then says he's going to take care of it. Pearce then says the last person who said something like that was Bronson Reed. McIntyre says he will be on his best behavior and Scout's honor. If McIntyre was smart enough, right? Didn't he hear that Triple H okayed this whole thing because of the whole screw up with the King of the Ring situation? So he's redeeming himself and being able to, reward Randy Orton with the title opportunity. He's not going to win it. This is just so Randy can get a payday and have a big name that Gunther could run through. That's it. Jesus Christ. I know that, for the heaven's sake. I swear to God, I've been watching wrestling since I'm 3 fucking months old. I am 42 years old now. I've seen it, I've lived it, and I've smelt it all. Oh, what's going on? They're not going to take my fucking accounts. What the hell is going on? Alpha Academy. Alpha Academy make their way down to the ring, and there was an announcement which happened on Tuesday. Obafemi was defending his title against Otis. We get a video from Chad Gable, who was in France for the Olympics. Gable says he came to Paris to do some scouting. Gable then says he realized he needed to get back home because he has unfinished business with the Wyatt Six. Texas Tornado Tag Team match. The Alpha Academy versus the American Maids, the Creed Brothers. The match starts off with the Creed Brothers going after Otis and Tozawa. Otis then clotheslines Julius out of the ring and hits a back suplex on Brutus. Tozawa then looks to nail Julius on the outside, but Julius intercepts him and nails him. The Creed Brothers then double team on Otis and deliver some strikes on him before Tozawa hits a crossbody off the top rope to land on the Creed brothers. Otis then gets Tozawa up on his shoulders and uses him to nail the Creed brothers. Tozawa then looks to fly out of the ring, but Otis stops him and sends him over the top and onto the Creed brothers. The Creed brothers then clear the announce desk. Brutus then sends Otis into the ring post, and Tozawa looks to fly off the apron to land on Julius. Julius then intercepts Tozawa and power bombs him into the barricade, and then gets him back in the ring and goes for a pin, but Tozawa kicks out. The Creed brothers then look to double team Tozawa, but Tozawa responds with a double DDT. Otis then follows it up with a double shoulder tackle on the Creed brothers, then nails Julius and hits a splash on Brutus in the corner. Julius then looks to fly, but Otis catches him and hits him with a power slam. Otis then follows it up with a caterpillar on Julius and goes for a pin, but Brutus breaks the fall. Brutus and Julius hit each other standing moonsaults on Otis and goes for a pin, but Tozawa breaks the fall. Tozawa then sends the Creed brothers crashing out of the ring and hits a tope suicida on Julius, then sends him back in the ring and climbs to the top, then nails him. Julius then gets Otis in the electric chair position, and Brutus hits him with a suplex. Tozawa flies to land on Brutus, but Ivy Nile attacks Dupree on the outside and sends her crashing into the announce desk. Nile then sends Dupree on the top of it and puts her in a submission on Otis as Otis watches on. Julius then nails Otis on the apron, but Tozawa looks to roll him up. Julius then hangs on, and Brutus rolls up Tozawa for the win as Julius holds him in place. So, let's recap this situation. That was a tag team to go against. Why are we doing this? Why? Those two have no chance making really it out on their own. Maybe Ivy. But Dupree, she is now and forever a fucking manager. So much for that fucking social justice shit. Oh, she'll learn on the fly. Get her ass back down to the performance center. Okay? Or force her to do that on her off days. We're going to get a pre-taped interview with Jackie Redmond and the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne from the Empty Seat Arena. I love that shit. It reminds me of old school shit, and I love it. From the Empty Seat Arena. Redmond asks Dunne about his issues with Sheamus. Dunne says Sheamus never took him under his wing. Dunne says Sheamus was under his wing. Dunne then accused Sheamus of holding him down and says he got out of it was a terrible nickname and a front row seat for Sheamus' show. Dunne then questions the idea of Sheamus caring about the Brawling Brutes and then asks where Ridge Holland was, if that was actually true. Redmond then brings up the name Butch. Ruh-roh. Let me at him. I mean, come on. Thank you, JD from New York. Dunne then tells her not to say it. Dunne then says he had to swallow his pride for 2 years and let Sheamus' little brother him. Dunne then says he's the bruiserweight and an 18-year veteran. Dunne then says he will shut Sheamus up so he never has to hear the name Butch ever again. WWE Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker was warming up in the locker room while Michael Cole hypes the Intercontinental title match. We get a video package of Bronson Reed and what he did to Seth Rollins with the 6 tsunamis. Basically, I like that shit. You're going to make an impact, do it. Do it. And I'm happy that Seth Rollins is the one that actually, took the fall and he gave back. That's what you're supposed to do, Bucks. That's what you're supposed to do, fucking Jericho. That's what you're supposed to do, Omega, Kazuchika Okada, all that shit. Give back. Seth Rollins, I have the 100% most respect for that man. He took 6 tsunamis. He didn't have to do that, but he's given back. And you know what? I have respect for him. I would like him to turn back into the architect. I'm hoping slowly but surely, but I totally respect him. And you know what? He needs to get paid. We head to the back where Adam Pearce tells Bronson Reed that he was lucky he was only fined. Reed says he wasn't given an opportunity, so he had to make an impact. Reed then says he will give Pearce a second chance. Reed then says Pearce can find him an opponent or he will go find his next victim. We get a video package on Io Sky and Kairi saying both women spoke in Japanese while subtitles were used. Oh my God, what a fucking concept! Caption, because some people need to learn to read. Perfect opportunity. WWE is doing God's work, teaching people to read. The more you know. Sky says they're still the most dominant force in the women's division and they will regain the tag team titles. Zayn then says Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark will be repaid tenfold. Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark then cut a promo. Deville says Damage Control is done and there's a new era, the Pure Fusion Collective. I would have done another name, but let's see if they can get this over. Honestly, I would have done like a I know this is fucking goddamn William Regal written all over it. The Quarter Catch Crew. I mean, come on. He's known for that. Can we just say the Blackpool Combat Club and let's end it? Come on. This is all William Regal here. I would have actually pulled it. I would have actually done it. The Horsewomen. You don't do the 4, you just say the Horsewomen. Or since they're in an MMA situation, they would do something like MMA type situation. Baszler says they should already be tag team champions because she made Jade Cargill tap out at Clash of the Castle. Granted. WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Isla Dawn and Alba Fire make their way down to the match for the next match, which is going to determine their opponents. We get the entrances next match and of the night, and Candice Michelle was shown front row. Also, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry and his son were there, and he was looking around. I give the person the credit because I should have been the one to come see this. Guess Mark Henry forgot what a full arena looks like. I could dig at all he wants. Don't think that I'm not saying facts here. The match starts off with Baszler and Sky. Sky takes Baszler down, then tags in and double teams on Baszler with Sky. Then it's a forearm off the ropes. Baszler then hits a forearm of her own on Sane from the apron, then tags Stark in. Baszler then hits a backbreaker on Sane, and Stark followed it up with a sliding clothesline. Starks and Sky then tag in. Sky then hits a jawbreaker on Baszler and follows it up with a dropkick on Baszler and Stark off the top rope. Sky then hits a meteor on Stark in the corner and goes for a pin. Stark then kicks out and hits a German suplex on Sky. Baszler then tags in and double teams on Sky with Stark, but Sky responds with a shoulder breaker on Sky. Sky then climbs to the top, but Deville jumps up on the apron. Baszler then trips Sky, but Zane hits her with a spinning back fist. Stark then hits a kick on Sane from the apron and looks to hit a kick on Sky. Stark then accidentally hits Fire before both women get back in the ring. Sky hits an over the moonsault on Sky. Sky goes for the pin, but Dawn breaks the fall and causes a disqualification. So then after the match, Dawn and Fire beat down the Pure Fusion Collective and Damage Control. So it's PFC. PFC. We head to the back where R-Truth and The Miz, that he got him an Intercontinental Championship match with Braun Breaker. Truth then points to a television that lists The Miz versus Bronson Reed. Truth then says it was his bad. The Viper, Randy Orton, then shows up and gives Miz a pep talk. Miz gets fired up and storms off. Truth then asks Orton if he really thought that Miz had a chance. Orton then gives Truth a look and mumbles, "Come on." We get a video footage of Randy Orton throwing out the first pitch at the St. Louis Cardinals game. The Viper, Randy Orton, makes his way down to the ring to address the fans, while the footage of the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General, Gunther, pitting Orton is shown to win the King of the Ring, even though Orton's shoulders were up. Orton starts off by saying it was 20 years ago this month that he won the World Heavyweight Championship for the first time and became the youngest world champion in history. Orton then says history will repeat itself at Bash in Berlin when he becomes 15-time world champion. Gunther comes out to the ring. Orton tells the fans, remember this moment before he dethrones Gunther and ruins his Friday night. Gunther then tells Orton that he took all his potential as a physical and gifted athlete and wasted it. How did he fucking waste it? He's a fucking 14-time world champion. He's been in this company for 20 fucking years. How is he a fucking waste? Oh my God, whoever wrote his promo didn't do their homework. Orton reminds Gunther who he's talking to and reintroduces himself. Gunther then reiterates that he will dethrone Gunther. Orton then says he appreciates Gunther's opinion, but he has a handle on things. Gunther then says he has two predictions for Orton, giving him a beating of the lifetime and never being world champion again. Gunther then calls Orton's father and grandfather screw-ups when compare Orton to both of them. I don't remember fucking Cowboy Bob Orton and his grandfather fucking becoming world champions. So who's the screw up here, asshole? Oh my God, this fucking promo was ridiculous. Ridiculous, honestly. Drew McIntyre then music hits, and he makes his way down to the ring. Orton hits an RKO on Gunther as CM Punk blindsides McIntyre on the ramp, and both men begin to brawl. Punk then lashes McIntyre with his belt. Punk then brings McIntyre into the ring and whips him until he leaves the ring and jumps on the barricade. Punk then returns to the ring and plays to the crowd. We head to the back where Sheamus is interviewed by Jackie Redmond. Sheamus says he doesn't understand why Pete Dunne has such a beef with him. Sheamus then says Dunne is trying to make himself off his name. Ludwig Kaiser then shows up and says he put Sheamus through a real banger last week. Kaiser then says it's far from over. Dunne then shows up and hits Sheamus from behind with a shillelagh. Kaiser then watches and backs off. Referee and producers then arrive, but Dunne gets one more shillelagh shot on Sheamus. Please don't tell me we're going to have a shillelagh on a pole match. Oh, for the love of God, no! The Miz makes his way down to the ring with R-Truth for the match. CM Punk is shown walking backstage. Kathy Kelly brings up Punk supposedly having travel issues, even though they were on the same flight. Punk says, how the fuck is he on the same flight as she is? Does Kathy Kelly live in Chicago? Punk says told a little white lie because he figured out that McIntyre wouldn't show up if he did. Punk says that McIntyre is walking around with a bracelet that has names of his wife and dog on it. Punk says it's not about the bracelet and McIntyre can keep it. Punk then says it's the context and the names. Punk then says McIntyre isn't allowed to speak his wife or his dog name without consequences and repercussions. Punk then says it will not stop until he gets his hands on McIntyre. Punk then says he knows McIntyre will call him a hypocrite for claiming he had travel problems. Punk then looks at his belt and says he just figured out a way to keep everyone happy. WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry and his son Jacob Henry are then shown in the crowd as Jacob Henry is part of WWE's NIL program. Bronson Reed heads out to the ring for his match with The Miz. Hold on, we got a little update on Mr. Alpha's the Alpha situation. Still nothing on Alpha. Nothing from WWE. It hasn't been confirmed. The match starts off with Reed charging at Miz. Miz then stops Reed with a boot, but Reed sends the Miz into the corner and delivers some strikes on him. Reed then hits Miz with a splash and a rolling senton. Reed then follows up with a flying shoulder and tackle on the Miz off the apron. Miz then hits a drop kick on Reed through the middle rope and flies over the top rope. Reed then nails Miz with a right hand, but Miz responds with a tornado DDT. Then both men get back inside the ring. The Miz then hits it with kicks on Reed's chest before Reed hits a Death Valley driver on Miz. Reed then climbs on the top and hits a tsunami on the Miz for the win, and he picks up the win. Nice win. After the match, Reed climbs to the top to look to hit another tsunami on Miz. Truth then tries to stop Reed, but Reed hits him with a tsunami. Reed then follows up with 4 more as the officials tries to stop him. Reed then climbs down the ropes and climbs to the opposite corner, hits another tsunami on R-Truth. Reed then looks to head to the back and decides against it and hits another tsunami. We then head to the back where main event Jey Uso is firing up Sami Zayn for his title match. Uso tells Zayn to go get his title back. Zayn then says he has to beat Braun Breaker twice. Jey hypes Sami up about winning the title, then speaks about how they will go after the tag team titles. Michael Cole announces that Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest versus Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan will be a mixed tag match at Bash in Berlin. My tablet just crapped out again on me. I'm sorry. So, I am glad that, with these guys that have had the opportunity to get a shot and be able to be successful here, that they're giving back. And that's how it should be in every company. The only fucking company that doesn't do it is AEW, and that pisses me off, and Tony Khan doesn't give 2 shits about it. Just as long as his shiny toys are happy, I swear to God, he's the old man 2.0. And I'm not joking. And it's disgusting. We get a video package that the Judgment Day, Finn Balor is seated while Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan, JD McDonough, and Carlito is standing behind him. Morgan says Priest and Ripley will pay for putting their hands on the most gorgeous man in the world. I've seen better. Balor then tells Priest to watch out and says he will show him what a backstabber is all about. The lineup for next week's Raw is announced. I think they need to pull a little something like DX'd it. Okay, they're the founding members, right? Right? Balor has to put the rights of the Judgment Day online. All right? If Damian Priest wins, they get to reclaim Judgment Day, and all of them have to go their separate ways. All right? They rebuild Judgment Day in their image. She goes to Bad Blood. Liv loses in Hell in the Cell with Rhea Ripley. Okay? Dominic is all alone. And if you want to turn him back to being a face, he could go crawling back to his father. And then he could be put in place to run the LWO. So Sami Zayn makes his way down to the ring for the 2 out of 3 falls match for the Intercontinental title. Breakker then asks McAfee if there are any dogs barking in Austin. Breakker then makes his way down to the ring. So the match starts off with Breakker going straight after Zayn. Breakker hits some shoulders on Zayn's midsection, but Zayn flies out of the ring to land on Breakker on the outside. Zayn then delivers a few overhand chops on Breakker and follows it up with a tornado DDT out of the corner. Zayn then goes for a pin, but Breakker kicks out. Breakker then hits Zayn with a German suplex and follows it up with a clothesline. Zayn then hits a Breakker with a haluva kick to score a fall. Zayn then looks to hit a moonsault on Breakker on the outside off the barricade, but Breakker catches Zayn and sends him over the barricade near the timekeeper's area. Breakker then hits a power slam on Zayn, followed up with a spear to score a fall. Breakker then flies off the apron and then sends Zayn crashing on the top of the announce desk with the clothesline. Breakker then slides back in the ring, and the referee begins the 10 count, but Zayn beats it. Breakker then gets Zayn on the ropes, but Zayn counters it and into a sunset flip powerbomb and goes for a pin. Breakker then kicks out, and Zayn goes for the haluva kick, but Breakker avoids it and goes for a spear. Zayn then stops Breakker with a haluva kick and goes for a pin, but Breakker kicks out. Zayn then looks to fly over the top, but Breakker hits him with a spear mid-air for the win. And he retains. Very simple, clear cut, and everything. Now, Zayn needs to start jockeying to go to challenge Gunther. I think if they're gonna do this, and Zayn needs to become world champion before he hangs everything up. I think Punk needs to win, and if they ever go back to Montreal, Punk will do the job and give Zayn the title. And that will El Generico versus CM Punk. Take my money. Oh, gotta get the gimmick card back out there again. Here's the money. Here's the money. Here's the money. It's a gimmick card. It's not a real credit card. And that is it. That is it. Please do me a favor while you're here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications so when I go live, upload a video, or do a short, you will know about it. Please also do me a favor. Go follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, Cameo, and X, Twitter. All Mel's Mat Chat. Please, if you want to donate to the podcast, leave a message on my PayPal. It is the QR code is in the go onto my page and you can find it. Scan it, donate, and write a message, and I will read it here and on my other stream on my OnlyFans, which you can follow me there on Real Mel's Mat Chat. Also follow me on Snapchat, which is Real Mel's Mat Chat. Also, please do me a favor to go and pay the $5 on my OnlyFans, and you can get my NXT review, which is NXXXT review. I do it completely topless. I go do this without no shirt on, so you can get a little spicy. I think I'm going to be able to go back live on TikTok on August 23rd. So if I have to come up with a genius way to mention that I have an OnlyFans without mentioning I have an OnlyFans. I think I'm just going to say, if you want any spicy content, you can follow me on that. Or I just will, somehow I might have to open a Linktree account and just post it there and just say, hey, if you want to go see any spicy content, just go to my Linktree account and you can get the link there, something like that. I may have to start doing that. But I will be back on this, not here, on my OnlyFans on Tuesday night at 10:30 for the review of NXT, and then I'll be back here for episode 253 this coming Friday at 2 p.m. I want everybody to have a great weekend, and I want to, send my love and my condolences to the Sullivan family, and if it is true, to the Adewale family. They lost another one, and it's incredible. It's incredible. And I'm also dedicating this show to my friend who passed away last weekend. I want everybody to have a great weekend. I love you all. Enjoy. I'll see you next week on YouTube. You can check me out on the OnlyFans, Real Mel's Mat Chat. And don't forget, Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com, Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com, Deathwish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com, and go check out HOG Wrestling at hogwrestling.net. I'll see you next week right here for episode 253. I love you all. Enjoy.